Hey guys, it's AeroCodManiac here, and I am bringing you that promised video about my life that I promised you guys way back like early May, so it's been like 2 months ago, and I promised you guys, so don't worry, I didn't forget about it. So here it is. I know a lot of you guys have actually been talking about it, and I just don't want to seem conceited talking about this video because just making a video dedicated to my life is kind of a little, you know, self-centered, but you guys kept asking, so here it is. I promised you. Um, but for the gameplay wise, this is a 54-2 gameplay, so it's pretty nice. These are the worst players I've ever seen in my entire life, literally. This gameplay was about a month and a half ago, but it is just lagging right here, I guess. So, but besides the point, Alright, I'm just gonna jump right into it. I'm not sure if this will be two parts. We'll just see when it gets there. So, alright, here we go. So, my birthday is November 22nd, 1992. I was born way back in the early 90s. And, just a little heads up, I am 19 right now. So, I was born in San Diego, California, 20 minutes from the border. And just love it. I love California so much. So, my dad was in the army, and my mom was just, the wife, the army wife. So they were both 19 years old when they had me. They were both pretty young, and yeah, that was pretty much it. It was just we lived there in California, and we moved around a lot because my dad was in the army. So we got stationed in different places a lot. Um, Now a year and whatever, my sister's like 17, so maybe 2 years later, 3 years later, in '95, we moved out to uh, Pennsylvania, and my sister was born there, so she's 17 now, and that was in 1995. We moved a lot of places. We moved in Georgia, Florida, Arizona, California, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. And after my sister was born, we were in this little fort for army places. It was called shit, I can't remember the name of it. It was a fort place. We went and visited it about 3 years ago to go see our old house and everything. It was really nice to see some of it. It was actually still abandoned from where we left it, because no other troops moved into those houses, so we could see some of the stuff that we left in our house from fucking like 15 years ago. So it was just crazy to see that. Um, and we moved to Japan in like '97, and a lot of people get stoked when they hear that. Holy shit, Japan. And yeah, it's pretty crazy and stuff, but I barely remember it because I was only like 5 to 6 years old. But I can tell you there's a certain spot I remember about it. There was a giant Buddha statue in one area, in like the center area, and I remember this I think it was a donut shop or something, and my mom would take me there to play the arcade game or whatever, and my mom would whoop ass, or so I thought. I don't know, she might have sucked, but in my mind, I remember her being good. But it was like a Street Fighter, maybe? I don't know, maybe it was Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, something like that, on an arcade. And, that was probably my first taste of video games right there. Um, Also in '97 is when Pokemon came out. So, Pokemon in Japan is kind of like a little heads up, like, oh my god, that's my favorite game series, just so you guys know that. Pokemon, I love Pokemon, so it's kind of like you know, a sign that there you go, that's my main thing. In 99-ish, I think, maybe, my mom and my dad divorced, but we kind of split up. And divorcing is a touchy subject with kids and stuff like that. A lot of kids get like emotional over that, and in the movies, you see the kids are always crying because mom's not here. If mom was here, then blah 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 or whatever. you know and the fact that my parents were divorced didn't bother me ever. Some people, when they hear that about me, they go, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "It's fine. It's nothing." It didn't even bother me. It's like I don't even remember the time where they were together, so it doesn't bother me that way. Um, so that's just kind of how that works. So we split them up. We'd have like three days a week would be with my mom, whatever. And we moved back to California, and I lived there for a little bit. And in early 2001, I moved to Arizona. Just me and my sister got oh, actually, in 99, sorry, in 1999, when they divorced, my mom had a kid with another guy and named him Justice, and so he's actually autistic. So my brother is autistic, yeah, and he is 12 right now. He's gonna be turning 13 in like a month, or actually like less than a month. And so yeah, he's autistic. Then in 2000, my other sister came out. So my mom has 4 kids, so I have 3 siblings. Or well, you'll see later, but um, yeah. So my little sister came out, and she came out in the year 2000. So she's 11, and he's 12, and he's autistic, and she's not. And they're in the same grade because he failed 3rd grade, and my mom wanted to kind of have them in the same grade anyways. So they're in the same grade. They're both in 6th grade now, and yeah. Um, so back in 2001, when we lived in California and everything, my dad was having some troubles and stuff, and he was still in the military at this time, and uh, let's see, okay, so he needed something to do. I wasn't too sure because me being like 8 or 9 years old, I wasn't too 100% aware of the adult situations that were going on. But what happened was he needed me for some sort of thing. So I left without my sister, and that was the first time ever in my life where I wasn't with my sister. Me and my sister are so together all the time. And, I have such a huge bond with my sister because we've been through everything together. So that was the first time we were split up, and it was kind of weird. I did not like it. I remember that day I was bitching and crying and everything because I didn't have my sister anymore, and I had to go live in Arizona with my dad and my dad's girlfriend. So, that was really rough. And my dad got me a Slurpee that day. And I remember being such a bitch kid. And I kicked that Slurpee because I was, really pissed that this was happening. I didn't want to leave. And I had to. And yeah, I lived in Arizona. September 11th happened when I was in Arizona. I was in 2nd grade in Mrs. Wolf class. I don't know why I had Mrs. Wolf class. It was only for like a 3-month time period I was in that class. And I left Arizona late September and ended up, uh, let's see, okay, I ended up coming back out to San Diego around, yeah, late September and stuff like that. So I grew up here. Now in this time period, I just stayed here, and my mom lived in California, so I was back with doing the 3 days a week, 4 days a week thing with them, and that was all right. I was okay with that schedule and everything until 2004 happened. Now, 2004, I was 6th grade, um, and okay, so we have my mom's family and we have my mom's mom family. So what I call my mom instead of grandma, I just called her Nana. I know it sounds kind of really sounds kind of hickish actually, but I called her Nana, and then my dad's mom, I called her Grandma. So I lived with my grandma. That was my actual household and where I went to schools with and everything. And then I'd visit my mom's for 3 days a week, and Nana 3 days a week and stuff like that. So that was that schedule. Um, but in 2004, my Nana and my mom decided to move to Florida. Now that was a big problem because the custody issue. Like, who am I going to live with? What's going on? And after a whole bunch of drama and stuff like that, really dramatic case, my dad ended up winning. And, at the time, I really did not want to live with my dad. And, Dad, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. But you know it already. I didn't want to live with you, and I didn't really like that at that time period. Now, the video is coming up to an end here, right here, guys. I'm just going to do it in 2 more days. I'm going to post the next part of this. So tune in for the second part of that when that comes up, alright? So I'll see you then, alright? AeroCod Maniac, out.